Hello, everyone. I was actually doing something else just now. It's a crazy year. I woke up, I started working, and I've been working all morning on something. When you're like 40 and barely know how to send an email, like getting things done can take a really long time when you're talking like working online and learning how to do stuff on the computer. It all takes a minute. So I was working online and getting some things kind of set up. I have a new PDF download, like free download coming out. Anyway, I'm working on a couple of things, working on more than a couple of things, like I said in my last video. But like something came to me as I was working and I was like, okay, I'm going to do a video real quick. And so here I am doing this video super quick. Um, Hoping it'll be a short one because I also have an English lesson in like 30 minutes, so I don't have that much time. So here's the thing. I was thinking about myself about a year ago. Just about a year ago when we sold the business, my husband sold the business here in Milan. He was like, well, now you can do whatever you want. You can choose. What is it that you'd like to work on? And I was like, I have no idea. What could I do? Like, what am I even? I have nothing. I am nothing. And I wanted to talk to those women who, you know, I'm just going to say, like in my case, you got married really early. I got married really early. I mean, not that early, but I got married pretty early. Like finished high school. I did like a really quick nursing school thing when I was still living in Canada, and then that was it. I got married. I had no ambitions. I had very low self confidence. Felt like I really had nothing to offer. I felt like I was, kind of a dumb person. That's how I felt. Like I wasn't really good enough in school. And I'm gonna just say, like, this is one of those things that school can do to a lot of people. They can make you feel really stupid, like you won't amount to anything if you aren't if you don't happen to be very studious or very interested in school for whatever reasons. And there can be so many reasons. There can be bad family situations, low confidence, or just a different way of learning, whatever it might be. So many people go through school and it just destroys their confidence. It just destroys them and leaves them feeling that they have no choice but to work a menial job, and that's it, and it's the end for you. So that was how it was for me. So I finished school and it's like, okay, well, now you better find a job. And you're probably just gonna, clean bathrooms and flip burgers for the rest of your life because you have nothing else and because you weren't smart at school. And so I think school can send a lot of people down that road, and that's where it sent me. And so I felt like, and not to use, I love my husband. We've been together for 20 years. So it wasn't to use him as a escape, like not in that sense. But at the time it was like, okay, well, if you don't want to do the flipping burgers until you're dead, you better find a man. And that was it. Like that was, find a man, flip burgers, like work 9 to 5 every single day until you die. And that's where school led me. So sorry. So when I did find my husband, like it wasn't, I know a lot of people thought like I chose the first man that came along. It wasn't really like that. Okay. That wasn't how that happened. I was for sure very like picky. There were things I was looking for in a man, and my husband is a good man, but it was an escape as well. I was like, oh, found a good guy, like run away, and like just get married, have kids and like be a wife and a mother and a supporting wife. So I worked with my husband for years and years and years in Italy. And I have to say that throughout all those years, and especially towards the end, it did turn into a very unfulfilling situation. Um, like I was missing something. I always felt very inferior to him, I guess, and just in general, like as a person. Because I hadn't had the schooling and because I hadn't gone to school and because I hadn't. And I have to say that after, when it was like, okay, you can do whatever you want, my first thought was like, okay, well, I should go back to school. I should go back to studying, you know? And I think that, and at the time I was like, oh my God, go back to school, go back to studying. Like I wasn't really good at that. And I no longer felt like a stupid person, but I also felt like kind of a dread in like go back and study kind of thing, especially because it was like, okay, but what am I going to study? Maybe I should study, I don't know, sewing, because I really like sewing and I'm in Milan, so like fashion and all that. And but like I didn't know. I didn't have a very clear direction. And so like I remember sitting there one evening, like it came to this, sitting there one evening like, and I told my husband, I'm not ambitious. I have no ambitions. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? And I remember like praying to God, like, what is wrong with me? Why have I no drive, no motivation, no anything in any of the, even with all the things that I enjoy doing, you know, like sewing or hair or health or any of it. And I was like, I still have no drive, no ambition to do anything for myself. And I couldn't understand it. And part of that is, a lot of that actually was also very set in my health. So if I'm eating badly, obviously, I get depressed. That's just how it manifests for me. So if I'm eating badly, it manifests as like, I want to sleep. I want to sleep and I don't want to face the world. And I just feel very sleepy and lethargic and not alive. I don't know. Like the food affects me like that. So that was the first thing that I looked to. I was like, okay, well, we got to clean up the diet, because if I don't clean up my diet, I have I can't even get up. So I can't even wake up in the morning. So yeah, that was the first step. But then like, as I went along, like I kept praying, because it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know? And then it did at some point start coming out for me. Like it started to be revealed to me. The whole like mentality of business. I'm not going to go too much into that, because like I think there was a lot to learn there, and there's a lot of different places that I learned things from. But I think my main points are, well, two main points. One being that I think prayer is always the most important thing. I see that when I really sat down, like, okay, God, like this is a thing. We need to talk about this. Like, please help me here. I don't know what to do. And so whenever I've sat down like that, I've always received very clear answers, and sometimes slow, sometimes very fast. Praying and fasting, like I talked about last time, that was fast. But in that case, it was like, what is wrong with me? You know, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do. And that was, you know, revealed to me slowly. And I have to say that as it was being revealed to me throughout the last year, I spent the last year not always knowing exactly what was going to happen. And I'm, you know, kind of still there. Not always knowing exactly what's going to happen, but always having a lot of hope and a lot of drive and a lot of motivation and a lot of ideas and a lot of a lot of directions that I'm going in at the same time. And at some point it's like, okay, but God, I need to like choose one, right? And I think the answer for me, it was like, no, you don't. You don't have to choose one. You could do everything you want. You could do anything you want. And so I actually have been working on, I don't know how many different projects. And I wake up in the morning like, what do I work on today, God? And I feel like I have very clear, like He's got my schedule. I don't really lay things out too much. And some days are completely dedicated to friends or my daughter or going out. or taking care of myself, and like not working at all. And those days are fine too. And then, of course, there's the full trust in him that he will take care of me. But all of this to say that, like, I realized looking back at how I was 1 year ago compared to today, praying that like very deep prayer, like, help me out here. I don't even know who I am. I don't even, like, I'm nothing. That's what was in my mind. I'm nothing. Like, I am nothing and I have nothing. Help me out here because I don't know what to do about that. And today, where I feel that I have so many different creative business ideas that I'm moving forward with, and I'm not anxious about, and I'm excited about, and I feel that he's really guiding me. So, yeah, prayer always number one. I keep saying it, but for sure number one. And then secondly, God's word and reading the Bible really helps to set your mind to being the person who can do the thing. And like I'm saying that, but like this is actually something that I heard when I've been listening to like some Myron Golden, and that was one of those phrases that he says that kind of sticks to me, like, be the person, become the person who can do the thing. And becoming the person does not always look like just going to school. And so yes, now that's the other thing I want to, kind of like press into a little bit more, especially for those women who became like the wife, the mother, and like follow my husband. And then I think in the church that happens more, maybe more often, I'm not sure, but where a woman feels like I'm just supposed to follow my man, like I'm supposed to do what he says, or, he goes to work and I take care of the kids. No. Um, no, we have so much to give as well. And I'm not like, a feminist and all of that. Like, it's not a movement. I'm really just basing what I say, I'm basing it on what God says about a woman. And I think it's Proverbs. Oh, I'll have to like write it down somewhere. I'm going to write it down on the screen or in the display, in the description down below. But where the Bible talks about a godly woman, and that godly woman is doing all the things. I mean, she's taking care of her house and her husband and her kids and herself and her business. And she's buying land and she's selling and she's doing it all. So this is not about feminism and like, oh, you are a woman, and no, this is about what God says you are. And I told myself for so many years that I'm nothing and I can accomplish nothing, and I have no motivation, no ambition to accomplish anything. But I was, and I was depressed and I didn't have purpose. But when I prayed that God lead me and show me something, tell me what to do because I'm just miserable. Give me purpose, give me a clear path. Things started to open up to the point like I'm like mind blown. Like, where are all these ideas coming from? And it can be kind of hard to pursue those things because you have that mentality, way of thinking of yourself, like, well, who are you to do all of that, or what makes you think that you're going to succeed in those things? And like, you feel kind of crazy, you feel kind of like you're delusional, and crazy. I'm like, yeah, but when I'm listening to all these people talking about business, I'm, Christians or not Christians, they often talk about, be delusional. And the fact that I'm doing so many things at the same time, I'm like, yeah, because I am. And maybe that doesn't fit the narrative, or it doesn't fit like what some people say to do. I don't know how it fits. It doesn't really matter. I'm doing my thing and I feel very comfortable and very motivated and very full of energy and ideas, and not overwhelmed either. Stretching myself for sure, so it's not comfortable. And like I keep saying to my friends, this is the year of discomfort because a lot of things I'm doing, it's like it's like very beyond what I'm used to doing. Like, I'm super closed in. I've been, the wife in the house. I've been, like my stretching has only gone to a point. Like my stretching is like I learned Italian and I learned how to interact with people here, but like that was it. That was my limit. Like I'm done now. I talked to people all day long, doing work with my husband, and that was it. But at this point, I'm stretching myself a lot farther in doing things that I never thought I would do, things that I even always thought I would never do. So yeah, it's an interesting ride. Anyways, I better go. I've been talking for like 15 minutes. I just want to encourage somebody who is maybe in the same shoes, who has been going through the same things, who especially feels like I'm nothing, I have no motivation. Who you tell yourself these things because of the past you've had, especially if you're a wife that has always followed along with your husband and you have zero idea of what you would even do if you thought of doing something. Prayer works. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Take care.